back, everybody. Episode 17, starting a new series.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back to school series.
Back to school series. Whether you want to admit it or not.
It is back to school season.
Dude, Morgan goes to school in like 2 weeks.
That's crazy.
Right? We still have like another month.
Yeah.
Either way.
But still, you got to get your minds back on school.
That's what you want to do.
Got to do what you got to do.
Yep. We're going to take this whole episode and talk about how you get ready for a new school year. Caleb and I have a little bit of experience here because we've been to school most of our lives. So,
yeah, we've been to school for a long time.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to be talking about in this episode. So, Caleb, take it away.
So basically, I just have a couple tips. Do you have a couple tips?
Yeah, I have like a list of I would say like mindset types of things.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, let's just alternate back and forth.
Yeah.
I'll go first. All right, so I have school shopping.
Boom.
You got to love school shopping.
Facts.
You also got to hate school shopping.
Yeah.
So here's my little tip on school shopping. You're going to have to do it, so you might as well have fun while you're doing it. And you got to get things that are going to make the school year fun, but you also have to get things that are going to help you stay organized and productive and all that good stuff. So basically, you got to have a little bit of a balance here. You got to get things that help you stay organized, but also things that help make the school year fun.
Boom. Like scented highlighters.
Yeah, scented highlighters, sticky notes that are
Facts.
Crazy,
Facts.
emojis or whatever helps you. What always helped me, I loved the little pouches, like pencil pouches, and I loved putting those in the front of my binder. Those were always so fun. So every time I got a new one, I was like,
boom.
I can't wait to use this.
Yes.
I can't wait to go back to school to use this.
Boom.
So
My first one is get your gear in order. It's the same thing that you just said, basically. I more so meant like make sure like organize your laptop. Have a place for like a way that you're going to organize like your files and all of your PDFs. Like I can't imagine having to like dig through like a badly organized computer.
Yeah.
That would suck.
Yeah.
I'm like meticulous about it,
Me too.
which I have a lot of files, but get your gear in order. Like,
yeah, totally.
and figure out what it is that you need to carry with you too. That's my second one. My second point is only carry like what you need.
Definitely.
Because nobody wants to have like a big, heavy, stupid backpack.
Yeah.
Or the worst, the backpack on like wheels.
Mm-hmm.
You seen those?
Oh, yeah, those are cool.
No.
Yeah, they're not cool at all.
No, but funny.
Yeah.
And definitely not what you want to do. So
Yeah.
School shopping is fun, but it can definitely suck too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So next on my list here, I have do something during the summer to help you stay productive. So me personally, and I know you personally, we like to do things all summer long to help us stay productive. That's just how our brains work and everything like that. But for people who don't like to do that, and if you do like to do that, great. Stay productive all summer long.
Thanks.
It will keep you in a good mindset and it'll keep you happy. So whenever you do have to go back to school, it's not like a drag. So, but if you don't do that, which is cool, do what you want to do, but I would recommend at least like 2 weeks or a week before you go back to school, just like do something to help stimulate your brain so that whenever you go back to school and you have to stay productive, it's not like a chore.
Facts.
So
Yeah, that's super important. I think that is probably the hardest thing though, because I can't imagine being in that position where like you're not just doing stuff consistently. Right. So it's difficult to like get back into the swing of things.
You're right.
But I imagine that's a very difficult transition for people that just turn off in the summer and
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a tough one. My second tip is utilizing your calendar.
Totally.
And that helps you a lot. I never did that until I was in college.
Yeah.
I use this website called Syllabuddy. I don't know if you know what this is or not.
No, I've
but
never
so
heard of that.
you download the PDF for your syllabus, upload it to this thing. It goes through, picks out all the dates, and then it emails you a downloadable calendar. So then you download it to whatever calendar you use.
Wow.
So like Apple or Google just fills all the dates in automatically.
That's crazy.
Game breaker, game changer.
Syllabuddy.
Right. I'll put it in the description for the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
You'll put it in the description too.
That's crazy.
Yeah, game changer.
I got to get on that.
Yeah, facts. It like literally saves you a ton of time.
That is crazy.
Never would manually do that. I
Right.
never would do that.
Yeah, no.
But Syllabuddy is a game changer.
Whoever made that,
Absolute G.
yeah.
Sponsor us.
Yes, for real.
Yes. We love your product.
We love it.
I love your product at least.
I've never tried it, but I know whenever I do try it, I'm going to love it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that helps a lot. Because I'm not somebody who's, my like worst skills are like organization and like time management. But when it's just automatically done for you, it's easier.
Yeah,
and
totally.
having a calendar makes it a lot easier to just do the things that you have to be able to do.
Right.
So nothing can sneak up on you if you have a calendar.
Yeah. All right. So next on my list, I have research things that can give you a base knowledge of classes that you're taking. So this is something that I didn't do until I was in college, and I didn't do it in my first semester of college, but I had a professor who was like, if you're struggling in school, then like if you're taking a class, like you're going to take it because you registered for the class. So before the class starts, do some research and just look some things up and come up with things that you're curious about to look up on the internet before you start the class, just so you could get a base knowledge for things. So whenever you go in the class, you're not clueless on what in the world is going on here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the best.
And so that is something that I did second semester of college that helped me a ton.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I put it on my list so that I could help you guys help yourselves.
That's super interesting. I've never done that either.
Yeah.
That's super interesting. I don't know. I never struggled in a class really until my last semester of college.
Sure.
And so which it was psychology, so I don't know how much research you can do on that, but there,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's interesting. That's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
Just build a foundation.
That's all it is. It's just
Yeah.
build a foundation. It doesn't have to be super in-depth stuff, and you don't have to become a genius on these topics.
No.
It's just something that can help you understand
read a couple articles.
Yeah, what you're getting into,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, super good. My third one is develop a strategy to keep you organized. So, for me, and I do a lot. So I do a lot of my work kind of take home. I don't stay on campus because we commute to school, and so I don't stay on campus and do anything really. So I bring everything home, and so in my psych class actually we did these things where she'd give us a concept and we'd have to do an index card for it, and so we had to buy index cards, and they only come in 150 packs.
Yeah.
So I've got 130 index cards, and so I've been using those ever since. Really, if I have a day where I have multiple things to do, I make a little list of all the things that I have to do, and I put it up on my pegboards, which are next to my desk.
Yeah.
And that's where I just sit and do all my stuff, and then I can just cross them off.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my organization strategy.
Yeah.
And then I'm also very meticulous about how my files and stuff are organized, and how all of my gear for this kind of stuff is organized, where it actually exists. So that makes everything so much easier whenever you know where stuff is, and also whenever you know what you need to be doing.
Yeah,
so,
totally.
Yeah.
I have a little whiteboard in my room that I write down my day-to-day schedule.
Same thing.
It's time saver too, because then you don't have to spend you go to your whiteboard once a week to write down everything that you have to do for the week, and then after you write everything down, then it's all you have to do is look at it and be oh yeah, this is what I have to do today. And it's not, you have to spend the time being what do I have to do today, or what do I have coming up that's due for class or whatever. So
and
this is a lifesaver.
Has been my iPad has been kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
But on the go.
Yeah.
So I have on my notes app, I have a grocery list one that I write down, and I have the same note taking app on my phone, so I can just pull it up and look at it. So I have sometimes I will do what I'm gonna eat for the day, written out. Anything, if you can make decisions before they need to be made, it makes everything super easy because you can just run through a robot basically. So, yeah, super good.
So next on my list, I have look at ratemyprofessor.com.
Oh, boom.
So for college kids, if you don't know what ratemyprofessor.com is, it is a lifesaver. So it's this place where you can go whenever you're registering for classes, and you can look up your school and then look up professors' names, and it has the ratings for that professor on the website. So for example, you're going to register for a class, and there's all these different times that you can take it with all these different professors. What you need to do is you need to go and you need to look up all these professors in ratemyprofessor.com, because it'll give you a description of how they run their class and the things that they do that are good and the things that they do that are not so good, and people's opinions on these people. And so you can go and say, well, this doesn't really match my learning style, so let me go look at this professor, and that professor might. And it's not just oh, this fits in my schedule at this time. It's oh, I like this professor, so that's the reason why I'm taking this course. And so I know that we've talked about this on the podcast before, where you had a class where it was all paper and pencil, and that is totally not how you learn.
So I have a funny story about that with ratemyprofessor.com.
Yeah.
I looked up that professor, And that was the feedback pretty much.
Yeah.
But I was like, what are the chances that that's true?
Yeah.
It was true, boys.
Yeah.
Brutal.
So just to steer you away from situations like that, ratemyprofessor.com is a lifesaver because you can look up what all these people have to say. And I mean, everybody puts their own opinion, so you might not agree, or like what some person thinks is bad is actually like decent for you, but you just have to look at it and figure out if this is somebody who you want to take, because at the end of the day, like, you're going to have this professor for
a semester. Sometimes more, depending on what you're studying. So
it is definitely a good tool to take advantage of.
Definitely. I think whenever I registered for my semester coming up, I did that very consciously.
Yeah.
Because it really can save you a ton.
Yeah.
Because especially whenever you get in college, you realize how much like the professor that is teaching you the subject actually matters, because it doesn't matter how interesting the subject is. Like, for example, like my psychology class was very interesting.
Yeah.
But it was not a class where I could have ever done very well in, just because of the way that it was run. So,
right.
But now I know.
Yeah.
So, ratemyprofessor.com. Also sponsor us.
Yeah, sponsor us.
You guys make a great product, too. My kind of last big point is to set goals for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're in college, the school year is like 16 weeks long. You've got tons of breaks. It's the majority of your year, kind of. And so, obviously, set academic goals. That's what you're doing. You're studying and stuff. But also, like, set maybe, like, just other kind of outside lifestyle goals. Like, maybe you want to start, like, working out, or you want to start, like, a side hustle or something like that. Because college is hard, but it is not probably, like, a full-time gig.
Right.
Honestly. So just do something else and don't be bored. That's my advice. And just, like, set your goals and don't, like, set away from them and, like, really accomplish them.
Yeah.
And it'll change the way that you live your whole life. So that's what I did last year, and here I am. So
yep.
Yeah.
And so last on my list, I have set goals and go into the school year with a positive attitude. I think that school is one of those things that always gets a bad rap, and a lot of people I shouldn't say a lot of people, but some people really don't like school. They hate school, and every time the school year comes around, it's always a drag for them. I was one of those students too for the longest time. But find things in school that you love and you're passionate about, and, like, make school worth going to, because you really can take a ton away from school, high school especially, because, I mean, like, you build the foundation for your adulthood in high school. Mm-hmm. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. I think that they just kind of go through the motions and they're ready to get done with the 4 years so they can go and move on and grow up, But those 4 years are the foundation for your adulthood, and you make a lot of decisions then that will impact the rest of your life and stuff. So I think, like, take high school seriously and just take school seriously, because there's a lot that you can take away from that, and make it fun so that you can recognize those things that have been given to you.
Facts. I think, like, the best piece of advice to make it fun is put yourself in positions that you actually like.
Yeah.
Something that I have written down that actually isn't on this note, maybe it's on something else for another thing that I'm working on, but is don't just study something that is going to make you the most money.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't make sense at all, especially if you hate it. I know a lot of people that I was in my entrepreneurship class with who are studying, like, accounting or, like, computer science, and I've asked them, like, why I study something that's very intensive, because at least the people that I was talking to at the time were very much, like, they would, like, complain about their workload.
Yeah.
Which, like, especially in college, like, irked me, because you chose the workload. Like,
yeah.
You knew what you were signing up for whenever you decided to be a computer science major, so I don't want to hear it from you, bucko.
Yeah.
But I would ask them, like, why? And their response would be, like, I'm going to make a lot of money one day.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's just not the answer
right.
that you should have. Because it's not worth doing the amount of studying that you have to do for stuff like that. And people don't realize, like, doctors, they have to go to school for a long time.
Yeah. And
when you realize the, like, time that you have to put into, like, studying, especially something that's hard, like, I'm a digital production major, dude.
Right.
I know how to use Logic Pro, and it took me, like, 6 hours to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
Like, these doctors are spending, like, 6 hours every day reading, like, binders worth of notes.
Right.
And so like for most people, that's not fun.
No.
And so like a fast track to not having a fun school year is doing something that you hate every single day. And if you do one of those hard, very academically intensive fields of study, like medical field or like law or like higher education, anything like that, like it's going to be hard, and you just have to be okay with that. So just put yourself in a position where you can actually have fun. Like it's okay to study, like one of my classes coming up is media criticism. I'm a sophomore. Like that's going to just be fun.
Yeah.
Media criticism, which, it is a major requirement, but like that's cool still.
Yeah.
So that's my advice is just, and even if you're in high school, like pick fun classes and don't waste your time doing stupid stuff. So,
Totally.
yeah, definitely. Definitely too short to end. Let's talk about, I want to ask you this, like what do you think is the best part of like going back to school that like you get the most excited for whenever you were, maybe let's go for high school first.
Probably just like seeing the people.
Yeah.
Because I mean, especially whenever you're young and can't drive, I mean, you don't really see the people that you went to school with during the summertime.
Facts.
Unless you're
play sports
like,
with them.
Yeah, or unless you're like, Mom, take me here to hang out with this person.
That's lame.
Yeah, so definitely I think seeing the people is one of my favorite parts. Because even the people that, like, after you get your license that you wouldn't hang out with, like, outside of school, or, like, just didn't make the time to hang out with, like, seeing those people was always fun.
Yeah. I don't remember what year of school it was, but I remember whenever it was, like, first day. It might have been senior year, but it also might have been junior year. It was, like, a big reunion. It was, like, a weird vibe. It felt like it was just, like, a weird kind of vibe. And I also remember whenever everybody came back together after COVID senior year of high school.
that was crazy.
That was crazy. It was just, like, very cool to see everybody again.
Yeah.
In the same place. But yeah, not to get all sentimental. This isn't the show for that.
Yeah, no.
We don't have emotions, guys. So
none at all.
None at all. Stone cold over here. Yeah, coming back together is fun.
Yeah.
What do you think is the worst subject to study in high school? I think math is a cop out.
I always hated English.
Really?
Yeah.
I always thought English was really fascinating. I always hated science.
I always thought science was really fascinating.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. English has always been weird for me. I've never been good at reading. And, like, my reading comprehension has never been that good.
I really like writing.
I'm not a fan.
I had creative writing in high school.
So did I.
I loved that.
Yeah, I really did like creative writing. Creative writing was really cool.
Yeah.
But that was a perspective of writing that I'd never seen until, like, that class.
Yeah.
It was always like, oh, right, blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah.
No, that's
then
dumb.
you're just like...
Writing essays is a waste of time, I think, generally.
Yeah.
But it's because, like, we're interested in creating things.
Yeah, but creative writing was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
One assignment, we had to write a song.
Oh, that's fire.
Yeah.
I would botch that.
Yeah. So it was cool because nobody here probably knows, but Mr. Riddle, you remember him?
Yeah,
he was my creative writing.
Oh, that's sick.
And so
for context, he was like in a band.
Yeah, and he played the guitar and sang. And so we wrote these songs, and after we wrote the songs, like, we would give the song to him and he would sing it for, like, the presentation. It was, like, the coolest assignment.
Yeah, that is the cool assignment.
Yeah.
Man, that's really awesome.
Yeah, so we, like, came up with the lyrics and everything, and then he would sing them.
I remember in my creative writing class, we had to watch this short film where it was like a doll, like a porcelain doll in a doll shop. It was animated, obviously. And then, like, the doll comes alive after the, like, store closes. And it's the only one. So it's the only one in, like, a whole porcelain doll lined thing. And it's, like, looking out of a window, and it's, like, snowy streets. And it's probably, like, a European city or town or whatever, and it sees, like, the other kids out kind of having, and it, like, thinks that it's a real kid.
Yeah.
And then it's done. That's it. And then, like, our project was to, like, figure out what's next. Like, to write what's next.
Yeah, that's cool.
And we did a couple projects that were like that, where it's, like, watch this movie or, like, read this paragraph that gives you, like, context, and then finish it.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think writing it's not fun.
Yeah.
But I even remember one time we were in English 10th grade, and we read this book about you remember that book that we read, but we really didn't read it. It read to us.
Yeah.
And it was about this like city where everybody did the same things all the time, and then this guy ran away.
What is it called? Utopia?
But I don't remember. It was a dystopian future.
But
that wasn't the book's name. That was the genre.
Right.
And so I remember that he said that we could get extra credit if we wrote like what happens after that. And like, so I did it.
Right.
And it was like 6 pages. Like I really wrote like this story for this guy of a book that I was wildly uninterested in.
Oh yeah.
But I was like, I can make this cool. And so that's what I did. I don't know. I just think that that's fun.
Yeah.
But essay writing, super sucks.
Yeah, super sucks.
Have you ever copyrighted on accident?
No, not yet.
I did last semester.
Really?
Apparently. Yeah. I don't like. I just didn't do in-text citations the right way, and And so I was having this conversation with my English professor over. So we were doing some assignment, and we had to have like a bunch of sources, right? And I wrote the thing, and we didn't have class for the last 3 weeks, so we were just all working on that. And she was like, "If you need me, like just come in or whatever." And so it's like a week left of class, and I submitted my final draft, and she looks over it and she's like, "Yeah, you copyrighted here." But we were over email.
Yeah.
And so it never clicked in my head how I copyrighted. I didn't understand. And so I finally made my mother, who's a professor, sit down with me and like explain to me how I copyrighted on this thing after like 5 and 6 emails back.
Yeah.
And so I like buzzer beatered this paper in. I did okay, but dude, that sucked. That was because I just felt I had no idea what was happening.
Yeah.
Like so confused. Mm-hmm. Not fun. Don't copyright, kids. Just cite everything.
Literally. If you think that it can have a citation,
just cite it.
It can have one.
Yeah.
Because it is much better to have too many and your professor be like, you don't need a citation here and you don't need a citation here, than to be like, oh, you need to have a citation here or you're going to get a 0 for this paper.
And actually what it was, I remember now, was I wrote this paragraph that like a bunch of sources kind of fed into.
Yeah.
And I cited it with only one because how am I supposed to know where the ideas came from?
Right.
Every single idea that, because it's like you read these things and subconsciously your brain like pieces everything together.
Yeah.
So I don't know where this information came from. And so I just put one source that I definitely knew that it came from because I pulled a quote or something. And then she was like, I couldn't find all of the information above in this source. And so that's why.
Yeah.
And it took me like a week to understand that.
Yeah.
But yeah. But that was not fun. That was not a fun experience, especially over email. That conversation, because I think
that's so tough.
I think she ended up getting like COVID or something, and so she wasn't there.
Yeah,
because for some reason I couldn't meet with her or something, and I was like, well, because it was super bad.
Yeah,
hung
that's
out
tough.
to dry, but I squeaked it in there. So
that's right. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. Who cares? Who cares about the other bits of it? But I think that's gonna wrap this one up.
Yeah, I'm all done. If you're all done,
I think I'm all done too. So that was this episode of Caddy Corner. Caleb introed this thing, and that is weird.
I don't usually do that.
But you murdered
I wanted to get the opportunity to do that.
Always? You always wanted that?
Always.
Just yoink it. Okay.
Might as well.
Okay.
I mean, you looked at me the right way.
Facts.
I was like, he wants me to. I was like,
of course.
Today's the day.
This is my chance.
Today's the day.
But thanks for listening to this episode of Caddy Corner. I'm Austin. He's Caleb. We never say that. Still. Really bad about that. If you're on the audio platforms, do your normal stuff.
Yeah.
If you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment, notification bell, turn that on, share it around with your families, friends, dog, anybody that you know. Because we like whenever new eyes are on this show, and that's the only way that it happens.
Yep.
20th episode extravaganza.
It's coming.
There's a Google form in the link tree. You guys already know that.
Yep.
But go there and leave your questions. We aren't looking at it until episode 20. So if there's nothing,
it's going to be the first time.
If there's nothing, too,
we're going to be real sad.
Well,
I think I might cry.
I don't know what we're going to do if there's nothing.
I have no emotion, but I think that would give me some.
Boom. So no pressure, guys.
Yeah, no pressure. Come on.
But
don't
we
make me cry.
really aren't going to look until then, so we're going to have no idea.
Yeah.
So, I think that is everything.
Yep.
I don't know how many weeks we're going to go with this whole back to school thing, but I think we have like 6 or 7-ish ideas put into our Notion. So buckle up, because this is where it's going to be. So if you know other students who need lots of help,
send them our way.
We've got content coming out for them. So
Yep.
But otherwise, I think that's going to be everything.
Yep.
Thanks so much for listening,
Thank you.
and peace out.
Peace.